All right, now we're going to look at function 3 down here, this quintic. So I see that my a value is positive, and it's degree 5. So I know that means it's going to do something like this. At the max, it's going to have 5 zeros and 1, 2, 3, 4 extremes or extrema. All right, so now this one does not factor by grouping. And I can see that there's no common factors. I could make some guesses with my rational roots theorem, but instead I'll just go ahead and graph this. So let's go into our y equals, and now we've got x to the 5th, and then we've got minus 4x to the 4th. So I'm going to insert, and then plus 4x cubed, I'll insert that also. All right, and now we've got plus 2x squared, so I need to insert a 2. Minus 5x plus 2. All right, so let's look at our graph and then adjust our window as necessary. So I know it's going to have a y-intercept of 2. Oh, and here's 2. And I see 1. It looks like if I zoom in really close here, that I'm going to see some more interesting features. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take my y values and cut them down a bunch. And also it's only really interesting around here. So I'm going to cut down this window. I'm going to go from -3 to 3. And then I'm going to go from -2 to 6. So I'm really going to zoom in on this function. So it looks for sure there's a root at -1. And then it looks like this is a cubic repeated root at 1 is what it looks like to me. So based on this, I'm going to actually try and do some synthetic division here. So it looks to me that it goes through -1. So let's put in our -1, and we've got 1, -4, 4, 2, -5, 2. So -9, that's going to be -7. +7 is going to give us 2. -2 does make a 0. Now I think it goes through 1 3 times. So let's try that. Let's see if it goes through 1 once. That will be 5, -2, -2, 0. So for sure it goes through 1 once. I'm going to try again. 1, 1, -3, -2, and that did, sorry, that should have been +2, which does give me a 0. I'm going to try again. And that did work. And my last one appears to be 2. And that is true. So that tells me that my equation factored as x minus 1 cubed, because I had 3 repeated roots at 1, x plus 1, and x minus 2. So this root, when I looked at it zoomed in, it looks like a cubic graph. So this root was actually repeated 3 times. All right, so now we just need to find our extrema. I've actually only got 2 extrema. There's 1 here and 1 here. This isn't actually an extrema. This is a point of inflection where my graph goes from being concave up to concave down for a little bit there. And then it goes concave up again. So let's find those extrema. So this one looks like it's at about -0.5 for the x value. So I'm going to calculate the max. I know -1 is on the left, 0 is on the right, and it looks like it's at about -0.5. And I get -0.566. And it was 4 point something, 4.28. All right, and now my min. So calc, this time I'm calculating a min. For sure on the left side is 1. For sure on the right side is 2. And it looks really close to that 2, so I'm going to call it 1.8. 1.77. And the y value is -2.91. -0.291. So there's all my features and my graph, and that's fun.